Hey, what is up everybody? How are you guys doing? Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. Thanks for checking out this video on Bluefoot Homestead. I appreciate any support. Now I want to talk today about kind of being alone in the prepper world. It's a definite reality. Anybody that has been doing this for a little while understands it or has kind of remedied the issue. Now when I talk about being alone, I don't mean necessarily physically being alone, but being alone with the preparedness mentality. I've just kind of recently spoken with my girl about this, and nothing has really changed. When I first started getting into it, it was, basically like, yeah, something isn't right. I want to maybe get a little bit of security or insurance on what might happen in the world, whatever that may be. She recognized it, but wasn't necessarily on board with prepping or being prepared. Now, if you have your better half or your family or everybody that's in your immediate life on board with the idea that SHTF is going to come, we're going to see some really hard times in our future, and they are on board with putting stuff back, putting food back, taking the proper steps to give you, your loved ones and family the insurance that you need to get through whatever hard times that you think might be coming. So what happens when everybody's not on board? And I think this is more of the case than everybody being on board. For me, I am the prepper. I am the one that is thinking about it. I am the one that is researching it. I'm keeping tabs on things that are going on geopolitically, financially. And she kind of, in a way, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but she kind of goes about her life. She's not thinking about it. She's not researching it or doing the things that I do. She kind of puts it on me as things are covered. I got everything covered. And that's okay. I do have everything covered. I have, and I say I loosely because it's we, have gotten everything for at least a year. We're pretty much covered across the board. There are a few things that I want to add to it. Of course, there's always an evolution of preparedness. But as far as survival goes, yeah, and we're pretty much good. Now, she understands why. She understands the threats that are in the world. She understands the financial unstableness, instability of our country right now. She understands all these things that go on. And she is definitely not opposed to adding to the cause, to making sure to mention when we're doing some grocery shopping, hey, do you want to pick up some more soups or canned vegetables or anything? Is there anything that you want for preparedness? Because I'm buying. So she's all on board with that. She's spent some money on preps. Different things. We've gotten things online that are geared towards preparedness that she has picked up. She's not completely on her own. She is not completely separated from preparedness. But she is not a prepper. She's not going to tell somebody that she's a prepper. So how do you kind of deal with this? I know there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of this is on assumption because it's usually something that is kind of extreme like this. I guess it could be considered extreme, radical, off the beaten path, just different. Usually you don't have a whole bunch of people that come together instantly and say, yes, this is it. It's usually one person that kind of holds this ideology. It's usually one person that a light bulb goes off or an instance happens that causes this sort of mindset. And it's not the rest of the family. They're not affected the same way maybe one individual is affected. That one individual becomes the prepper. That one individual cannot look away from what they saw, heard, learned, experienced, or whatever. It's permanently burned into their brain, their thinking mentality, their process of getting through life. It's not going to be across multiple people. So you're going to have this solitude of being the prepper of the house, being the one different one, that thinks different and does different things in the household, in the community, or whatever you want to say. At first, when I got really deep into it, it was about a year into prepping. I was trying almost everything I could to get her to see what I was seeing, to get her to understand what I understood, to get her to read some books that I read, or give her a little bit of research material to say, hey, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want you to be on board with it. And the interest just isn't there. They didn't have that moment to cause them to get into preparedness. So without that, it's hard to get people to see what we see, to understand what we understand. So I have backed off quite a bit. I bring things up every once in a while. I talk about things, and it's usually just kind of shrugged off. Most people just want to go about their lives. Most people don't want to think about the extreme negatives, especially if you're dealing with any sort of, depression or anything like that. It's hard to push a negative ideology onto somebody in any situation. So I've dialed it back. Over the last year and a half maybe, I've been getting to dial it back. Just kind of think about it myself, kind of get into a recluse mentality about it to an extent. I try not to make it a harmful action, but I pull everything back. Really focus on the things that I need to get done. Focus on the organization, the supplies, everything that I have. What do we need to improve on? What do we need to change? What do we need to eat? And I just kind of focus on that. Everything that I am doing, and hopefully everything that you're doing, is going to be able to take care of everybody that you need to take care of. But I want to say, don't put so much pressure onto somebody that isn't necessarily interested in what you're believing and thinking and preparing for. Because it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And I even saw it at some points where there became more of a separation. A little bit of, not necessarily anger, but frustration with it. Because they're saying, hey, I'm good. Don't mess with me. And I respect that. And then a lot of people in the preparedness community are kind of pushy when it comes to that. You want people to understand what's going on. You want people to prepare. That's why a lot of people do YouTube channels. You want to get that word out to people. Well, the same thing goes with your family. But not everybody is subscribing to the channel. So embrace the solitude of being a prepper. Embrace it. Focus what you need to think about. Focus what you need to get done. Involve people if they want to be involved. Don't force people to be involved in it. If they're more than willing to help out, if they are willing to participate in anything, yeah, bring them along. Maybe get a little bit of knowledge passed on to them in the process. Might have to sneak it in like kids eating vegetables, but sometimes when you plant a seed, a plant will grow, a tree will grow, and eventually everything might make sense. But if it doesn't, don't get mad at yourself, don't get mad at them, more importantly. Just do what you need to do. Know that you're doing it for what you believe in, and keep at it. Keep at it. Because to bring it around to current events, Trump isn't saving the world, people. It ain't gonna happen. And I made a video about that before, but we still have every single reason to prep right now, and possibly even more reasons now than we did have, I don't know, 2 months ago. And it was pretty bad 2 months ago. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to touch on this. Definitely don't push people that don't want to be pushed. Don't force people to believe what you believe. Just use the time and energy that you would normally use to try to convince everybody that you're not a nutcase to perfecting what you need to perfect and getting everything done. So I'll leave it with that. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching. Again, any support's cool. And yeah, till next time. I always mess that up. Till next time, I will talk to you then, and peace.